Take a highway to the danger zone. So I'll give you two guesses as to what movie I watched last night. Top Gun Maverick. If you guys are looking for an excursion, if you're looking for a good, like just adrenaline fueled thrill ride, like a really healthy dose of nostalgia that really takes you back, but not in a way that is just shamelessly capitalizing on the original, you should really go see this movie. And you should see it in theaters because it is just a visually exciting film. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, there's no way that they're going to do this movie and they're not going to have Danger Zone in it at any point. But I'm thinking like, okay, what they're going to do is they're going to wait until like the really badass moment happens and then they're going to throw it in there just for the extra badassery. I was shocked. I really was. The formula of the movie was not what I expected at all. It opened up like pretty much exactly like the original, like same font in the credits, same exact music, the aircraft carrier and all the dudes like setting up, and then the Kenny Loggins right off the bat, like as the jets start taking off and landing, and I was just like, holy shit! Just the music alone, you just get so excited, you get so engulfed in it, you know? You would think that if that's the way the movie opened up, you'd be sort of like, ah shit, here we go, there's gonna be nothing original in this. But no, actually, it really gets you into it perfectly. Maverick is still the same character, and Tom Cruise, it's like he never stepped out of the role. If I had a criticism for the movie, and it's the tiniest little thing, okay? It is actually the Jennifer Connelly. It's not the Jennifer Connelly character. Her character is great. The dynamic between her and Tom Cruise is great. The fact that they're kind of sneaking around almost like a couple of teenagers and the daughter is watching them was, there was a lot of really well-placed humor in this movie. No humor that wasn't set up didn't, land correctly. The only thing that I will say is there was one point in the movie where it was like not even like a romance scene, but it was just a talking scene between Tom Cruise and Jennifer Connelly. And I was kind of like, it sort of slowed the whole pacing of the movie down. Not like a major thing. It was just like I would have given it like a tweak. I'm talking like I would have maybe edited like one scene out of it. That's all. This is a 2 hour and 11-minute movie, and it did not feel like it at all. The characters in this film are really, really, really good. And I like the fact that they were realistic with what they did. There is, a woman in the Top Gun, but it is mostly male dominated. They weren't trying to check all of the political boxes. You know what I'm saying? It was very clear that everybody's heart was put in this movie. There's even an introduction before the film from Tom Cruise, basically excitedly saying, we worked really hard to bring this to you guys, and we really hope you enjoy it. This is for you. Thank you for all your years of loyalty, yada, yada, et cetera, et cetera. But it was very clear just via that message that this was really made for the fans. They weren't trying to be popular. They didn't woke anything out. They didn't bring up cocky male stereotypes and shit like that. There was a cocky male stereotype in the film, cocky as Iceman, but in kind of a different way. He was his own character. Holy shit, the dude who played Rooster, rather, Goose's son. Good Lord. I mean, you stand the two of them side by side, it's a father-son, no questions. The character dynamics together, even like the sort of contentious relationship between Rooster and Maverick, it was all done really well. And there's a lot of like really like feel good, pull on your heartstrings parts of the movie. There's also like a couple scenes that go a little bit into like cheese territory, but I am 110% fine with that, okay? Because I love the 80s. It's my favorite era ever. And let's be real, I loves me some 80s cheese. And this movie had a little sprinkle of some 80s cheese, and I really liked that. I am going to get into spoilers in a second, but I'm not going to spoil it now. The ending was absolutely riveting, like absolute edge of my seat. When we walked out of the theater, my wife had a headache, like from stress. Totally satisfied. Everybody in the audience clapped. They loved the movie so much. And this movie made you feel good about being an American. Can you imagine? When was the last time you walked out of a theater and you felt positive? Like, America. When was the last time that you did that? And there's no politics in this movie. There's no politics in this movie. It's like, go Air Force. Like, it's like the first Top Gun. I really can't compliment this movie enough for not, I mean, literally not even a remark, not even a self-aware remark. They didn't have to announce that the one flyboy was really cocky because he was really cocky. They trusted you as an audience member to understand that, and they didn't have to shove it down your throat. I'm so refreshed. And the box office, like, just reflects it too. Elon Musk loved the shit out of this movie. Elon Musk liked this movie better than the first one. I don't know if I liked it better than the first one. I'm gonna have to go back and I have the first one on digital and VHS. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again. Let's put it this way, okay? Whether I like the first one or the second one, they're neck and neck. The fact that this was made, 34 years, something like, I don't know, 30 plus years later, and it was so good and felt like the same universe. It was an above average movie, I would say. It was probably the best time that I've had with a movie like that in a really long time. I mean, I did just watch the Bob's Burgers movies, but that's like a completely other, category. All right, spoilers. 3, 2, 1. So, I had heard that Val Kilmer was going to be reprising his role as Iceman, and I was very excited for that. But what I figured they were going to do was, because I watched the documentary Val, which is another good one, by the way. I got to do a video on that. But I watched the documentary Val, and his son narrated the entire thing. And his son sounds a lot like him, so I presumed that his son would overdub his voice or something like that. Nope, they just rolled with it. It might have been his son overdubbing his voice. He only speaks at the very end. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not making fun of anybody here, but, he sounds like this in the Val thing. And in this one, he just sounded like this, kind of. So it might have been his son talking for him. But most of the scene is him typing. And he's really playing kind of like, almost like a therapist to Tom Cruise, which is interesting, because they were such rivals. But from the get-go that they've just been friends like all these years now, so things have really changed. But even at the very end of that scene, it was brilliant because Iceman says, "So which one of us do you think is the better pilot?" And Maverick says, we just had a really nice moment. Let's not ruin it. It was great. It hit all the right beats. It does slow down a tiny bit at a certain point in the middle, but it's really not that long. It's really not that taxing. The 2 hours and 11 minutes flies right by. The movie is a perfect balance of humor. It respects the fans of the original movie. It's a feel-good movie. It's a proud to be an American movie. And that's why it's doing so freaking well at the box office. So Hollywood, pay attention. And that's all she wrote.